26 years. That's how long I've been at the People's Political Party of Ontario, otherwise known as the People's Party. In 1995, I came out of incarceration after a large amount of wrongful arrests at the hands of the Toronto Police Services. I had made a large amount of contacts in with our Attorney General at that time, Charles Arnick, a name I would never, ever, ever forget. With no results from the government, I decided to make it to Queen's Park to seek out then Premier Bob Rae. I walked down a long corridor and I asked, "Have anybody seen Bob Rae? Anybody seen Bob Rae?" Nobody has seen Bob Rae. And out of the blue, this large press congregation comes out. And inside, in the middle of them, is a man. So I keep just trying to get over to see who it is and ask, "Anybody seen Bob Rae? Anybody seen Bob Rae?" Nobody would pay attention to me as this large group of people ushered down the hallway. Until we get to the end of the hallway, there's a big flight of stairs going down, and there's a room to the left. And at that period of time, this man uttered, "Bob Rae, what are you going to do?" And he started addressing social issues: poverty, homelessness, police abuse, lack of affordable housing. And at that point, he uttered to Bob Rae, "Bob Rae, you ain't nothing but a pimp. You're a person in money position, PIMP. And Bob Rae, I'm here to get the pimps out of government." Boy, these media personalities turned like a hornet on a horse's ass when they heard the word, "Get the pimps out of government." They all took their attention now from Bob Rae and onto this man, and they scream at him, "Give us a name." He says, "Kevin Clarke." He says, "Are you gonna run?" He says, "You're darn right. What party are you running with?" And at that point, with no thought, Clarke uttered, "The people." That was the people, the People's Political Party. This was in 1995, 25 years ago. And as all these securities were trying to usher Clarke away from Bob Rae and down the stairs, all these cameras just came flying across. He made the second page of the newspaper that day, and that was the start of Bob Rae's downfall and the end of Rae's Day. During that election, the election before, Bob Rae had trounced former Premier and at that point, leader of the Conservative, Mike Harris. Rae won 76 seats, Harris only won 4. But the next year, after this onslaught of getting the pimps out of government from Kevin Clarke, when he hit Bob Rae the day he called her it, the landslide turned. And Harris ran on to a majority government. And the rest is history, except it was not history for Kevin Clarke. For the next 16 years, going through health adversities, going through homelessness, going through still wrongful abuse and by the Toronto Police Services, going through incarceration. 16 years later, Kevin Clarke ran into a man, Thomas Zag, Glenn Jessamy, and Phil Saracen. And at that point, they put together the People's Political Party of Ontario. And in 2011, 16 years later, Kevin Clarke officially registered the People's Party of Ontario, known as the People's Political Party. For years and years, Clarke ran that party with little finances, with just support from his friends, such as his lawyer, Stephen Delisle, such as his other friends, Nara Manikin, and with counseling and guidance from Mr. Sam Coleus, and eventually down the road came Professor Darren Abramson, and around that time he ran into Choi J. Young, and in turn he gave Choi J. Young an opportunity, and Choi J. Young became dedicated to the cause of building social, positive productive services for the people of the city of Toronto and the province of Ontario, the great country called Canada, and eventually the world. That was the focus of the People's Party. And then years back, Clarke decided he's going to take it on the federal level and open the People's Party of Canada. He registered the People's Party of Canada with Elections Canada, and he had a certain time span to make all the requirements to form the party. Due to poor health, he was not able to complete it. And then suddenly out of the blue, a few years later, we heard of this Maxime Bernier in the People's Party of Canada. There was outrage from the people in Ontario. Kevin, this guy's stealing your party's name. I said, I wouldn't say it's stealing. He says, well, what else is it? There's the internet. He could have easily Googled the People's Party and he would have got you. But I left it at that, and I wrote a letter to Bernier and the People's Party of Canada to try and see if we can make Ontario and Canada work together. All we got reply from Bernier and anyone from the party was a thing about money. Then 2019 came, and I sent another email to Bernier and the People's Party for a federal election to be their candidate. That was ignored again, and all I got again was a letter requesting money. I am the founder, the original People's Party, and you'd be ignored in this manner. I couldn't figure out what would be the purpose. If you're the People's Party, would you not want to coordinate with an existing People's Party? And then in 2020, we gave them another opportunity, and a by-election was called in Toronto Centre, and I sent a request to be their candidate, and that was ignored again. And then out of the blue, on March 3rd, 2021, or around that date, I received a letter from the People's Party of Canada telling me that they want to become the People's Party of Ontario. And they have been blocked from using the name because naturally that name is originally from Toronto mayoral candidate Kevin Clarke, a former homeless man who formed a political party in the province of Ontario, the 14th registered political party, so he can inspire hope, using love to bring peace, so we can have justice for all. And he used loving kindness to build joy and happiness, and he gave the glory to only one. He gave the glory to God Almighty. But he support those who do not believe in God, because he knew that God is life, and if you believe in life or have life, then you do believe in God. So you don't have to say you do or think you do, because you really do. And now, after the letter, some respect was gained. And I was about to give Bernier the benefit of the doubt, but thank God for the people, because I sent out a letter of consulting to some awesome people. Mr. Sam Colas, Mr. Darren Abramson, Mr. Choi J. Young, Mr. Nara Manikin, my cousin Courtney Edwards, Mr. Stephen Delisle, and these have been longtime strong supporters of the party, of us building a new Ontario where we serve the needs of all people, whether it's established people or people who look out for the special interests. Our focus is to come together of one mind for the greater good of mankind. But when I really think about it and sum it up today, I think about the audacity. 16 years to form, to register this party. 10 years running this party. 26 years. And the People's Party of Canada would have the audacity to ask me to change my party's name without even saying, we'll offer you a position as leadership. We'll offer you a position of president. We'll offer you a position of chief financial officer. These are all positions that I have done. But you expect that I'm supposed to give up a name. But you must remember, the People's Party is not a name. The People's Party is a mission to restore government back to the people. So Mr. Bernier may think that coming into Ontario and suddenly getting the name the People's Party makes you the People's Party. No. Feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, looking out for the seniors, giving opportunity to the youth, standing up to abuse of authority. That is the people, my friend, not a name. And that's why Kevin Clarke is the People's Party.